So the provisional titles for Boruto episode 227, 228, 229, and 230 have been dropped, and hats off to Organic Dinosaur once again. She has been on the ball every single month, and hats off to her because we really appreciate it. So for this video, I just wanted to go over each title and just give my opinion on each episode, what I think will happen based on the title itself. So we're going to start with episode 227, which is titled Team 7 and Their Final Mission, which is very interesting. So this one really got me intrigued because I was thinking about what we know about the next episode, which is episode 226, which will be the episode before this episode. And based on what we saw in the preview, the next episode will be Denki versus the Samurai Girl. And based on the episode preview itself, we can also deduce that they will be fighting for the entire episode because they showed the fight itself in the preview. So we can't just say that, oh, they're just gonna do it off screen and then we'll get to see Boruto and Mitsuki fight. Like, it's just not gonna happen. So based on that, we can assume that Boruto and Mitsuki will be disqualified. So we can assume that the tuning exam will end in episode 226. Now we move into this episode, which is episode 227, Team 7 and their final mission. What does that mean? It seems that they're going on a mission which would be their final mission, but why would that be their final mission? That's the problem that I'm having. So if it were a case where both Mitsuki and Boruto became tuning together, then we could say that it's their final mission as Genins or whatever. Like maybe, because technically they would be tuning at the time, so they would be tuning. So why would it be their final mission? So this seems to me like they're moving into the manga canon episodes where they're gonna adapt the manga, where we saw Boruto and Mitsuki and Sarada and Kawaki working together, saying that they're gonna train. Maybe they don't get to go on another mission before Code Attacks, which would be in chapter 63. Maybe they're going to adapt to what happened before that. So it could be a case where Code Attacks before they get to go on a new mission, which would mean that this would be their final mission. So it is possible, but it could be a case where it's their final mission because Boruto has the karma and they're not going to allow him to leave the village. And that rule could be possibly them limiting Boruto to the village because Momoshiki emerged once again in some anime episode, like the anime canon episode. Maybe we get to see Borushiki once again, which is why they limit Boruto to the village, which would link up back to what we saw in the Boruto manga with Boruto and Kawaki basically being on house arrest, being watched by the people outside. So this could really link up with the manga. Maybe Boruto loses control again, which is why they are placed under house arrest or village arrest or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, we will see what happens here, but I believe Boruto may lose control over the karma once again, which is why this will be their final mission as Team 7, because they won't be allowed to go on missions again. Because we have to remember, like earlier on, before they got the permission to do the tuning exams and go on missions, they were blocked from doing missions, and Boruto felt sad about it, right? So it could be a case where they will be blocked again, which is why we have this episode title. So we will see. And this specifically leads up to the next episode title, or 2 episodes after this. So with episode 228, we have Kawaki, a path towards a shinobi. But that's not the episode I'm talking about. I'm talking about episode 229, which would be Violating Orders. So Violating Orders could link up with Team 7 and their final mission, because it could be a case where after they block Boruto from doing missions or going outside, they violate those orders and go outside, go on a mission or do whatever. I think that will happen in 229, possibly. When it comes to episode 228, which is Kawaki, a path towards being a shinobi, I'm not sure what will happen there. It could be a case where we see the manga being adapted. Maybe they switch it up, bring it back a bit, because we saw a lot of people complaining about it, saying that it isn't possible for them to do this because it comes after Eida and Code are introduced. So we haven't seen Eida and Damon as yet. Code has been introduced, but we haven't seen Eida and Damon in the anime as yet. So it'll be weird for them to adapt a chapter that came after those chapters. So they could switch it up, do this one first, then do the Eida and Damon stuff afterwards, because it doesn't really break anything. It doesn't really matter which one comes first. It doesn't really change anything in the grand scheme of things, right? So they could just switch it up and do it afterwards, but I'm not sure. I don't think he will wear the headband in this episode. It's possible that he goes on the path to becoming a shinobi and starts training, doing studies and all that stuff, which is why the episode is titled that way. So we might not see that chapter adapted, but we just see the start of that journey here in this episode. So we already spoke about episode 229, but I think this episode will be very important to the manga because I think it could lead to a lot of things. Because what we saw in the manga was them being like probably on house arrest. They had Ninshi or Nishi, whatever it's called, Nishi watching them. So they had literally a personal bodyguard watching them on top of the house. So for it to get to that extreme, because that's not the case right now, they do have people surveilling them, but it wasn't so obvious. So for them to be like locked to the house and someone watching their chakra signatures like 24/7, it could be that they violated the orders, left the village, which is why tighter restraints were placed upon them. So that's what I'm getting from this episode. It's possible, but it could be that it isn't even Boruto and his team. It could be somebody else. So we shall see. Now, episode 230 is called A Wish, and I'm not 100% sure what this one could be about because it's kind of vague. But this one could be Eida's episode because, as you know, with Eida is that she wishes she would be able to fall in love. And because of the powers that Amado gave her, she'll never know what true love feels like because her power literally commands someone to love her. So she'll never know if someone really loves her of their own volition or whatever that word is. So it could be a case where this is where we get Eida. They retitled it from Eida to make it ambiguous and they just named it A Wish. So we shall see. Maybe not. I'm not 100% sure, but this could be it. Or it could link to Boruto. It could be Kawaki or whatever. But I don't know. It seems like an Eida episode in my honest opinion. But we shall see. So these are just the titles for the upcoming episodes. Episode 227, 228, 229, 230. This video doesn't need to be any longer than it needs to be. I'm going to try and cut back on the videos. I have a video on Sage Naruto versus Code coming up and how strong Sage Naruto is. So I'm going to post that maybe tomorrow. I wanted to post it today, but we got this information today. So I'm going to post this one today and I'm going to post that video tomorrow. So stay tuned for that one. Subscribe for more information. I'll be posting more information on the Boruto manga and anime going forward. So yeah, stay tuned. If you like the video, drop a like. If you agreed with anything I said or disagreed, if you have a different take on the episode titles and what they could mean, drop it in the comment section. I'll be happy to hear it, honestly, because I'm really confused about some of these titles. But yeah, that's all I have for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.